Well, welcome to another train update. This is a program where we spend a few minutes and review things that have come up in the past week or so on our help desk calls and on our emails. I am David Knapp, and I'm part of the train program, and today joining me is Toni Leasor.
Hello.
Toni, we get a lot of calls and we get some emails from people that have attended a training and they're not quite sure what the next steps is to complete that training in their learning management system. And these are trainings that either they've attended a classroom training, they've gone to a video conference, or maybe they're doing an online module and need to kind of walk through what those next steps are. They log into their train account and they go over to the My Learning in the dashboard and they click on My Learning and it expands, and all the current courses that they are currently registered for are listed there. They don't really want to click on any of those courses unless it's an online module, and they can click on that module and they can restart the module if they didn't complete it the first time. But that's not what we're talking about. Once they've completed courses, what do they need to do next? Well, they need to tell Train that they're finished.
Right, yes.
And they do that by, again, clicking on My Learning. Courses are listed there. Don't click on the course title, but you go to the bottom of that list and there's 3 buttons, and that center button is
Current Courses.
Current Courses. And when they click on that, the screen will refresh and courses will come up again, but this time they'll look a little different.
Right.
They'll have a M for Manage next to the course title. And what do they do next?
Well, from there you're going to click on that M button.
Okay.
And then that's going to bring you to a page where it's going to ask you to mark yourself complete.
There's some questions, sometimes people will click that completed button and a pop-up comes up. And they get a little bit confused on the wording on that, but they just need to say that they are really completed this course.
Right.
Click OK to that pop-up, and the screen will refresh. Now, some courses will have a test with them or an assessment.
Right.
And that button will be there and present itself.
Yes.
And once they complete the online assessment, that screen will refresh. And what's the last thing they might have to do?
An evaluation, which is the same concept. They'll have to click on Start Evaluation and go from there.
Okay. Once the evaluation is completed, which all of our courses do have an attached evaluation, but not all courses have an attached assessment to it. And once they complete that, then their certificate will be available on the dashboard on the home page under My Certificates.
Correct.
What if you fail that assessment?
Well, if you're going to, then you will have to go back to your My Learning and retake the course and start over from there.
Exactly. Now, one thing that's kind of unique about Train, and this is something that will change over time, before you can relaunch that assessment, relaunch that course again, you'll have to do an evaluation. That's a little odd, but you will have to complete an evaluation even though you failed, and then it'll present the assessment will be available to you the next time. But we can address that further in a future program. Another thing we wanted to address today was the service request form, and that's kind of the form that kind of drives our branch and services of our branch, and we just want to make clear of what that form is, what it's used for, and how they access it. So what would you typically use a service request form?
Well, our service request form is basically used if you want to start a video conference or if you want a webcast to be created. Here at DPH we have some conference rooms that a lot of people like to reserve. That would be how you would go about to reserve those, and technical assistance if they need that. Any of those, continuing education, that's one thing. If you're trying to build a course on Train and you are requesting continuing education, you would also go forth with that.
Very good. And so where do they access this? This form was put online here back some time ago. How do they get to that form?
Really, the form is in a lot of locations. One of those, of course, is on Train. We do have that. It's on the home page. You'll see that pop up with our Train blog and our Twitter page. Another is our DPH Internet under the Education Workforce and Development page. It's under there. Our Facebook page has it. There's a note under our Facebook page that you can go into and just click on the link, and as well as our blog and our Twitter page.
So accessing all that from the home page of Train after you log into your account is a good thing to like Train on the Facebook pages. And what will that get you if you like Train? What kind of information will you receive?
Facebook Train is an easy way to kind of get current courses that we are having on Train, as well as if there are any video conferences and you're needing that meeting room number to dial into, we have all those numbers on there, the dates for them, if they are part of Train or if they have continuing education, we have how many hours, any important events, newly webcasts that have just been put out, stuff like that.
Okay,
very important.
Good. So it's a good place to get information coming to you, and that way you don't have to go out and seek the information in the system or search it out. And there is quite a few number of people that have liked the Train, and actually are getting tweets from Twitter too.
Right.
Last thing we want to talk about, this came up, and it's something we hadn't really thought through before. When you create an account in Train, part of that process is you join a group. And typically you're joining a state group, and within that group, if you're in a local health department, your health department is individually listed in those groups. And what's happening is as people are leaving their jobs in health departments or transferring to different health departments, we're having to update those Train accounts, and it needs to be done when the individual leaves. They need to go into their Train account, log in. At the top right corner above the PHF logo, in small letters, it says My Account. And they will click on that. And they will click on, when the next screen that comes up, there'll be the details of their organization, where they work, their address, their phone numbers, their emails. They really need to update that information to their new workplace. And then they need to select on the second tab is the groups, and they need to change under those settings, either select the new health department or the new job location that they're going to. Now, if they're moving if they're going within state government, you'll find your organization sometimes down to the branch level in that group structure. If you're outside of the state government, going into the private sector, you'll find more headings like medical, dental office, or there might be something restaurants or schools will be listed in there. And so you just need to find what best fits the new category of work that you're going to be doing. Now, if an employee is left and you're a course provider at the health department, then you just simply go into that individual's account, and you do have that capability because you have permissions to access users with your course provider login, and you'll just simply move that employee out of your health department and into the Kentucky group. And hopefully later on that employee will continue to use Train wherever they're at, and they can go in and update that account to their new job location. This came up this week because of training plans. So course providers and health departments that are utilizing heavily training plans, when they go to assign plans, they're finding a lot of old employees in that assignment process, and this is where this first came up. So again, when an employee is leaving the health department, on that exit interview, they need to be going into the Train and updating their account. If people have already left the health department, course providers will need to change their group to Kentucky. And this is something we'll be talking about further about, and we'll have further information coming forth, especially if your health department is utilizing the training plan function. You will come across this sooner than later, and you're free to contact us and we can walk you through those steps. Well, that's all we're going to talk about today, and appreciate your time. And again, keep your emails coming. We're monitoring emails and phone calls and choosing out of those some of the top 3 topics that come up, and we present them to you each time. We'll see you in about 2 weeks.